Is it video or is it not video?
I don't know if I've ever been on like a Zoom call.
I don't know if it's gonna be video. I don't know how it's gonna work. So if it's not video, I'm gonna hit this ball. Did you hear that?
What was that?
I don't know. Sounded like a door closing, but it also could have been a cat. But it went.
Yeah.
Is it Michael Myers? Did he just sneak in the back door? I can't hear anything. Am I supposed to be hearing something?
Yeah, this dude's phone number.
Hold on. I do have an Instagram or something. I feel like I'm on it though. I don't know. I'm on. Oh, I can hear and see you. I think your speaker is off. I don't think it is. Am I connected to the Bluetooth or something? I'm on, right? I just can't hear anything. Right?
You can hear me now, right?
There you are, Gap.
Oh shit, you can hear that? Oh, okay, hang on. I got it. Wrong mic. Let me fix this.
Is it video or is it just audio? Oh, okay. So we'll be on video. Am I on video now? All right. Okay. Just want to make sure I wasn't being filmed right now. Sounds great.
Welcome to One Ogden. I'm John Miles. It's October 10th, and we're broadcasting live from the Miles Goodyear studio. Big thanks to our community sponsor, the empty Fred Meyer parking lot on 12th Street. Come eat your lunch alone, in your car, down at the empty Fred Meyer parking lot on 12th Street. This is One Ogden, Ogden's only live talk show, telling the story of Ogden from the ground up. It's officially episode 2. We came back for more. Episode 1 went off flawlessly. Absolutely no technical issues. We've got Colby back in the producer's chair, helping us do this thing live. Say hello, buddy.
What's up, guys? How are you?
All right. In a minute, Reide Thompson is here from the Ogden Downtown Alliance to tell us about the events they've been putting on this year. A little later, we're going to head to Texan BBQ to talk to the new owner and try out some of their Blue Heat barbecue sauce. But first, let's get to our first guest because we are very excited to have him here. He is a legend of comedy in Utah. He was one of our first reality TV stars as a runner-up of season 6 of Last Comic Standing. He's a master impressionist and half of the comedy duo Marcus and Guy, who are bringing their high-energy musical comedy show to Wise Guys in Ogden this weekend. It's comedian Marcus Hardy.
Hi.
Welcome,
actually,
sir.
With Guy as well. We're together. Both the Marcus and the guys. We're both here.
Marcus and Guy. We got the duo.
We made it. We managed to get together in the same place at the same time. It's amazing.
Excellent. Thank you, gentlemen.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So yeah, we're excited to have you coming back in Ogden. Thank you for doing it again. Okay, I want to start with a question I've had for a long time. Marcus, I loved you on Last Comic Standing, loved you on season 6. I've always kind of wondered, when you first went into that show, did you expect impressions were going to become like your kind of signature thing?
No, not really. I got it pretty early on that it was. Let me go back even just one step. when I showed up, I realized there was a lot of comics there. I mean, guys I had seen, guys that I'd watched their specials, dudes that had been doing this a lot longer than me. So I realized, like, okay, well, you know, and those guys weren't getting on the show. So I was like, all right, well, there's got to be something to what they're doing. This is casting. I get it. A guy from Salt Lake City with tattoos that does voices probably makes good TV. So I kind of leaned into it for my audition because it made me different. But then when I got on the show, I tried to not do it as much because I didn't want it to just be the thing, but they would make me do it. So like they'd go, tell us about the day. And I'd go, oh, today was amazing. We went and got to go to this place and do this thing. And they go, okay, now what would Adam Sandler think? And I'd go, and they would always make me do like the same three voices. And so the people on the message boards hated me and they told me I was a hack and terrible. So I would just try not to do impressions, and then they would get mad at me and make me do impressions. So actually, when I got off the show, I didn't do voices in the show for almost like, I don't know, 5 years on stage. I just stuck with being a comic because I was like, I'll show everybody that I can do it. And then I thought, well, that's dumb. So that's when Guy and I got together and we wrote the musical show that we did because we wanted to do impressions and voices, but we wanted to do it in a way that nobody else was doing it. So instead of just kind of coming out and doing the same impressions that I'd always been doing, I kind of challenged myself, as did he, to learn a bunch of different songs and learn a bunch of different new voices and singing impressions. So that's kind of where we came to this idea was just learning how to do it in a different way.
Well, and tell me about that.
Comic standing, you were a singer before you were a comedian.
That's true. Yeah, I did. I was actually in a band. We both were before we did comedy. So we kind of like had those things in our pockets, but it wasn't like we had thought that was going to be part of our act, and it just kind of ended up being something that we did at the end of shows. Just would do little bits and pieces of music or like impressions or whatever at the end of the show, and then it just kind of became the show, which is wild.
Well, yeah. So you and Guy, you guys act the musical act you do now. It kind of started as a show closer for a while, right? And then you've turned it into this full thing. So what made you guys decide to kind of go all in on that format?
It started becoming more popular than either of our stand-up.
That's true. Yeah, that's true. We would do these sets because we would tour together, and we would do like it started off us doing like a 90-minute stand-up show. You know, we would both do our sets, and then we would do a 5-minute bit at the end. I think we started by doing like Tenacious D, and we would sing tribute at the end of the song or at the end of the show. And then it became, well, we can do a couple other musical impressions. Let's kind of put those. And so it was just us doing snippets of songs and singing like people. And then just as we started messing around with songs and just kind of listening to them, you'd go, oh, well, that's kind of this and that's kind of that, and you'd start finding ways to go from thing to thing, and then you do it for a decade, and now that's literally just how you hear music. Is every song is like, oh, that's 5 minutes ago we had the radio and we just heard a riff and we're like, well, that's that and that's this and this is because that's just how it is, and plus we love music, so it's super fun to make fun of the things you love, right? Because you already care about them, so it's kind of easier to make fun of them that way. Like when you tease your siblings or your family or your buddies or whatever, right? It's like it's always out of the best place. So that's kind of where we come from, and we have a lot of fun, and yeah, it's I don't know, it's a much more and also I will say this, there's nobody else that does what we do, or I know about it. There are musical comedy acts and there are people that do silly songs and stuff, but what we do, the structure we do, the way we do it, the voices, and then everything in between that's all improv and all kind of made up as we go and formatted for the audience that's there. There's nobody else that does what we do. So it is a real fun experience, and that's kind of what we try to craft. It's the most fun that somebody can have at a concert.
Yeah. Yeah, tons of, like, do you guys listen to the radio and just like, I don't know, you hear some new song and you're like, oh, I can do that voice. You kind of mess.
Yeah. I mean, I guess it goes both ways because I have a lot of voices. And that's the other thing too, is like, I mean, within the construct of the show, maybe we'll do 30 or so, maybe, I don't know, give or take. But I mean, we do dozens and dozens more, but it's hard to do them all because not every song fits in with something else. Not every song just hits when you do it by itself. We've tried things where we'll write something, we're like, this is gonna crush. Oh, I can't wait to do our new bit. It's so clever. We're so good at writing this. And you do it, and it's just
Bombs.
just nothing.
Stand-ups. Every stand-up has the same story
Yeah.
too. Like, oh, I thought of this idea and it's brilliant. I can't wait to get on stage.
Yeah.
And then you get on stage and nothing happens.
Nothing.
Like,
And then you kind of, well, can we work it? What went wrong with it? And sometimes we'll try things for a few months or a year even, and then maybe it won't ever get anywhere. And then other times we'll have an old thing that we hadn't really messed around with for a while, and then like you said, something new will come out and go, oh my God, that's exactly what this is. That's the missing piece. But yeah, and then sometimes it starts from the impression because somebody comes out and they're almost instantly mimicable or iconic in that way. So, we try to come from it all different angles. We don't want to try to recreate it the same way every time. So sometimes it's on accident. Sometimes we're just literally listening to one of our favorite bands and we get an idea, or sometimes it's out of necessity where we're like, you know what, I really want to put this voice in there. What can we do with this? And kind of work backwards from there. So we found ways to make it work, all different types of creative processes.
it could be accidents too. There's been things that happen on stage where like, remember that.
Yeah, that's the best one, and it happens literally more than people know, where something will just occur to us in the moment because we're kind of just flowing, and those are the best ones. And then you have to try to recreate it. But I would say for every time we say remember that, I probably only remember like 60% of them. So there's a lot of
Doing
them
better than me.
lost to time. But yeah, that's the experience.
And so, like with those mashups, where do you guys start when it comes to building a new medley? Is it like a first joke, or is it a musical idea? How does the process work?
Usually Marcus will have like a, hey, I noticed this sounds like this. And then I have the knowledge of notes, I guess, to where I can go, okay, let me look into that. Oh, you know what else fits into that? This.
Yeah.
And then it kind of can spiral from there, or the voice might change something. But he usually, 90% of the time, he has the idea, and then I will either be like, it works or it doesn't, musically.
Yeah, because what I'll do is I'll get songs stuck in my head. And what I find is, and when you get a song stuck in your head randomly that just appears out of nowhere, it's usually because something else you were listening to is reminiscent of it. So you kind of get this, spark or whatever. Or I'll realize that I like singing this voice, and I'll go, here's a voice we don't use in the show, or here's a decade or whatever. Yeah. And then we just kind of try to work like in a way that you would when you're kind of writing something and kind of go, oh, well, how could you get from here to here? Vocally it works. Does it work here? If it does, then, oh, we can make it work. And tonally this makes sense. So we just, I don't know. I guess it's just kind of, at this point too, we both speak the same shorthand. So when I just go, hey, can you do a thing? And he goes, well, like a, and I go, yeah, but do
the country riff, but fast.
But slow it to like, maybe do like, yeah. And then he knows what I'm talking about. So it just kind of works now. We almost have like I don't know, we're on the same page a lot. That we rarely have issues with our I don't know that we've ever had necessarily creative differences. We always just have things that they either work or they don't. And we're fine with it either way.
Yeah.
And so I want to talk about your impressions for a second, because they are just so good. And I want to know how you kind of choose. I don't know. Both. Yeah.
I'm not the voice guy.
Yeah. No, I am talking to you, Marcus. Like, how do you pick which voices you add to the repertoire? How do you practice impressions?
Well, I always like to say that the universe gives people talents, and then it's your job to turn a talent, or the universe gives you a gift, right? So I always had a gift for doing voices, but it's my job to turn a gift into a talent. And a talent is something that you're good at work. You're good at enough to like fool the people at work into thinking, oh, wow, hey, look at me. I can do Christopher Walken because he sounds like this. And oh my gosh, they're so good. And then that's a talent that you have now. But if you become really good, if you really sharpen that, then it becomes a skill. And a skill is something you just can do every time without even thinking about it. And skills take layers, they take years, because like just with the walking, we do this in our show sometimes, but like when you have somebody you could just talk like this and you go, oh wow, look what a compression he's doing. But the funny thing is that Christopher Walken's voice doesn't actually sound like that. It's lower and deeper. It's got tones and layers, and only when you become very skilled at doing it can you hear all those things. And so that's kind of like what the whole thing is that we do with this, is just you strip something down to its barest bones, the chords, and then you kind of build up from it. And it's the same thing with voices. If you can get close to it, you start realizing too that like as an impressionist, you watch, if you start do them long enough, you kind of become your best impressions. You know, Rich Little's voice literally sounds like Johnny Carson now. I mean, when you listen to him, this is how he talks now.
Do you know he's still alive?
He is, and he's still doing Carson. He still sounds like this.
He was old in the 80s.
Yeah, he was. He was old when I was young, and I'm not young anymore. But when you start doing that, like I start hearing in my own voice, you know, just very easily I can go to Jeff Goldblum. Sounds very similar to me. It's not hard to do, not hard to do at all. So you just start finding things that are similar, and then you push yourself and just go, well, what if I push, excuse me, what if I push my voice down here and I just start doing Patrick Warburton? You know, I don't know, maybe that. You don't ever know what you can do until you start trying. You know? And then when you can do one voice, you can do a million. You know, Jack Nicholson is always a great voice to start with because he sounds like Christian Slater. You know, Christian Slater sounds like Charlie Sheen. Charlie Sheen sounds like Wayne Newton, who sounds like Johnny Carson, who sounds just like Rich Little now. So, you know, when you start like pushing yourself and just realizing that if you can do Family Guy, if you can do one voice on there, because most of the voices are done by the same guy, you should be able to do all of them. So if you can do Peter Griffin, you know, that's pretty easy. So, you know, that just becomes Stewie very easily. It just becomes Stewie almost effortlessly, and then that just goes right up into your nose, becomes Quagmire, so giggity, giggity, giggity. And then you can bring that down and just to Cleveland, you know, just slide it back down. And then again, you just right back to Patrick Warburton because you're Joe. So most things are just very easily connected, and that's what this is now. It's just finding notes and connections through songs and voices and time, and it's, yeah, so it's kind of like this always waking up and going, well, you know, it's something that we're good at, but like challenging ourselves to become better at it or more clever at it, or find something that's better than the thing we're already doing and wanting to want to replace with. It's a fun challenge. So I mean, it's a fun process.
What's fun too is if we learn a bit and it doesn't work, we at least have that music in our brain, because there's been times where something will happen in the audience and I can go get into the song, whatever it was relevant to,
and we had no idea we'd ever use it.
We had no idea, and it kills. And so yeah, learning all those songs isn't for nothing.
Yeah, you never know what you're going to use. So that's the other part of it too. Yeah, sometimes you just realize like, oh, this thing is the root of another thing. So yeah, it's fun. You kind of always constantly discovering new things about yourself and your act. It's fun.
Yeah. So you guys have been to Ogden a bunch of times. I don't even know how many times. But like, have you got any favorite memories performing here? Any favorite things about Ogden itself?
I know that we're on an Ogden-centric program right now, and I know that it sounds like I'm going, hey, what? This is our favorite town of the tour, you know, and it sounds insincere. But I will say, first of all, Ogden was the first club that I ever headlined. It was the first place I ever did a weekend. I performed on that stage with some of my favorite comedians over the years, and it is 100% sincerely, I would say this on any podcast in front of any club, anywhere, if they'd asked me this question, but Ogden is our favorite place to perform. That room feels like nothing else. It performs like nothing else. When the crowd sings, because there's like, it's brick and it's wood and the sound gets trapped in there, it's the loudest you've ever heard a place. I mean, it's the loudest shows we've ever done. Honestly, I love Ogden. I look forward to coming back there every single time.
It's what they call in the business a kill box.
Mm-hmm.
And there's people, Louis C.K. prefers to perform there. He was here not long ago.
Yeah.
He could have performed however many shows he wanted to downtown. He wanted Ogden.
Ogden, it has a feel to it It's so good, and so I love it. It's one of the places that I literally get to have the best shows of my life. So
The one that sticks out though, one time we were playing, if that's what you were asking,
yeah,
we were playing and the power went out.
that's right.
And we didn't want to cancel. We got bills to pay, so we just had everybody in the room hold up their phones.
Yeah,
with the lights.
Wow.
everybody put their phones up, and then you just unplugged, and we did the show acoustic, and I think we did the entire show.
We did stand-up sets as well,
and stand up too.
we
Just,
still used
That's
the
awesome.
microphone because we didn't know how to do comedy.
I still had the whole mic.
We didn't know how to comedy without a mic.
Yeah, it wasn't working, but we had to pantomime it. But yeah, we did that the whole night. That was fun. Yeah, that's true. That show does stand out. I mean, every time is memorable, and this weekend's going to be memorable. And Halloween, it's our favorite time to be up there. 25th Street looks so cool, and it's haunted. And Wise Guys is haunted, and I've ghost hunted all of 25th Street and Wise Guys basement. I've been in the tunnels underneath some of the bars there, and tried through walls. And I love 25th Street. I love Ogden, and I hope that Ogden comes out and has a good time with us, because that's really what our show is. It's just show up, laugh, and sing out loud. And
You know what? I'm a diehard Salt Laker.
Yeah.
I represent the 104, but I always tell people that 25th Street in Ogden is cooler than anywhere in Salt Lake.
Yeah, 100%.
Yes.
It really is. And that's the cool thing about it, is just come up, hang out, get something to eat, walk the street. It's fun. So yeah, make a night out of it. Love Ogden.
Awesome. I love
filmed
seeing
my first comedy special. I filmed at the Egyptian up there because it was I wanted to be in that theater, and you were on that, and it was amazing. That was incredible. Sold that place out, and I mean that's one of my favorite memories of Ogden too. And
Wow. The Egyptian, that would be awesome.
it was insane. That theater's amazing.
Okay, well, you guys are good enough to give away some tickets to a couple of our viewers. So
100%.
the way that we would like to do this, I want you to just give us, I'm going to put you on the spot, just some phrase. Maybe you do it as Patrick Warburton, Christopher Walken. Just what's the magic phrase for people to comment to enter to win?
Magic phrase.
Get high with Marcus and Guy.
I love it. Get high with
I'm
Marcus
not
and
going to
Guy.
beat that. So
Yeah,
hi.
no reason to say.
With Marcus and Guy. Oh, what was the other Patrick Warburton? You're gonna get high, yeah. You're gonna get high, Marcus and Guy. It's gonna be great. It's gonna be fantastic. High five. Get high five.
Awesome. All right. Thanks a lot, guys. I love it.
Thank
Looking
you.
forward to seeing you this
Appreciate you guys
weekend.
wanting us to do this. Thank you so much. Ogden, come
Yeah.
see us. We'll see you there.
So great to talk to you guys.
Yeah, for sure.
Been a big
Thank
fan forever.
you.
See you guys.
See ya.
Whew. All right. We did it. That was Marcus. Marcus and Guy this weekend at Ogden Wise Guys. Put the comments. Go find our posts about this episode on Instagram, or you can comment right here on the YouTube video. What was it? Get high with Marcus and Guy. Win yourself 2 free tickets. Okay. Up next, we've got our next guest. I want to switch a little more local. So, let me find my spot though. My goodness. There we go. Okay. Up next, we've got the executive director of Ogden's Downtown Alliance right here on the call with us. So please help me welcome Reide Thompson. Welcome, Reide.
Hi, thanks, John. I appreciate you welcoming me.
Yes, thank you. So let's go ahead and get right to it, I guess. I wanted to start with, we talked to Kim Boucher early on the podcast, and she kind of gave us a history of the ODA, but that was it was a big transition for the organization at the time. So my impression was always that ODA was run by the founders for a while, and then a year or two ago, there was like a whole new batch of leaders that came in. Is that how it feels to you?
Yeah, there definitely has been some transition over here at the Ogden Downtown Alliance over the last couple of years. And that's always, I think, a hard thing for organizations particularly in the nonprofit sector, but also in the small business sector, to kind of transition past that founding leader and director into the next generation and vision for what's to come.
Yeah.
So it's definitely been a huge privilege and challenge and pleasure to kind of be at the helm now and start steering that direction for the future of downtown Ogden.
Well, and talk about that a little. Like, how do you decide what the new direction for the organization needs to be?
That's a great question. A lot of my approach is really based and rooted in what is the needs of our community and making sure that we're a listening ear for what that is. So our mission hasn't changed since Kim was here of promoting economic vitality and community vibrancy throughout Ogden's Central Business District. So a lot of what informs what we do and what we focus on is feedback from the business owners, the community at large, and also assessing what are the needs within our community to make sure that we're fulfilling on those duties.
And so this year, Downtown Alliance also took on running the Arts Festival. What does that say about maybe the new direction or priorities?
Yeah, so the Arts Festival is another kind of entity within our community. It's interesting because a lot of these events have deep origin stories, but lack a little bit of that ownership direction of where they came from and where they're going, but have deep history. So when the Arts Festival didn't happen in 2024, a lot of people were really interested in seeing how can it come back and what does that look like, myself included as one of those community partners looking towards that. So I really envision and see the Downtown Alliance should be representative of what is important to our community and the culture here in Ogden. And I think, things like the arts and outdoor recreation are really a lot of the pillars of what people, and of course, supporting small businesses, are a huge pillar of what makes Ogden so unique and a vibrant place where people want to build their families and move here and kind of support in all things local. So I saw the Arts Festival as a great opportunity to, one, make sure it comes back for our local arts community, and two, that it's this beautiful connection point for all of our local arts organizations and the community to interact and connect in kind of that third space. So that's where it was important to me personally, as well as the organization, to bring that festival back and to continue to see it grow and in the future root it in the Nine Rails Creative District, which is where I think it should really be home as soon as we have Lester Park ready to host us.
That's awesome. I do really appreciate that you guys kind of saved the Arts Festival. That is terrific.
Yeah, it was. I know a lot of people were vested in making sure that it returned, and we're just one of those players. But events are kind of a unique and tricky beast to do. So since we have other similar events and programming, it seemed like a natural fit to take that on.
Yeah, and you've been around for Harvest Moon festivals as an attendee in the past. I think maybe you've helped plan arts festivals in the past. How has maybe your perspective changed as you've stepped into the leadership of the Downtown Alliance?
Yeah, I think something that's unique about events like Harvest Moon is you're really hosting it in public spaces, right? Where we're closing a city street, and same as Farmers Market. But that takes a lot of logistics to pull off to make sure that people are safe. Harvest Moon's a beer garden as well, so there's a whole nother layer of security protocols that go into place when you have that beer garden on 25th Street. So I think that's one of the biggest kind of eye-openers and learning curves for me, has been really managing and helping with the alcohol side of event production is something I didn't have as much experience coming into the Downtown Alliance, and how you make sure that you navigate that appropriately when you have bars and restaurants that are operating on the street, but also are throwing a festival in front of those businesses to make sure that you're honoring what are the needs and opinions and values of those businesses, and make sure that you're adding good things to the street rather than detracting or taking away business. So it's a careful balance and tap dance a little bit to make sure that you can honor all of the needs, or at least hear and listen to everything that might be desired by the community, and then see what you have in the capacity to execute on. So Harvest Moon's a big, long day for a lot of people. I think this year we had 35,000 people come through it, and it was a 20-hour day for staff and volunteers to pull off to bring the magic there. So that's been a really fun one to kind of learn about what do people really value and where can we grow and expand that event to make sure that all of the free community activities and things like that are happening, and that it's a net positive for our business owners, not just on 25th Street, but all across the downtown Ogden area.
That's amazing. 35,000 people.
It was a wild day. It was a busy one, but amazing too, and just such a beautiful way to celebrate the transition of seasons from summer to fall, and see kids running around hay bales and doing a maze, and our team and our volunteer decor committee made a 12-foot paper mache pumpkin. It was magical. See all of the investment and involvement leading up to the festival, not just to the day itself, I think is what really brings the magic.
Oh yeah, it's like the official start of fall for sure.
It is, and that's a careful dance. We want to make sure that there's fall harvest, of course, at Harvest Moon, but that we don't lean too much into spooky season, because there's lots of fun things that are happening this month in October too, and want to make sure that we leave space for that transition period, where it's still warm outside, but you're just getting ready for pumpkin spice lattes and all the things to come.
Yeah, and do you guys put those events on like as a fundraiser? Is it really just about building community?
Good question. So, our funding comes from a couple different areas. We are very heavily grant funded. And so because these are mostly free events, a lot of the funding comes from the things that you might not think that they would. Like I mentioned, the beer sales is a big component of what helps pay for Harvest Moon. So they're not, no event is directly a fundraiser. What we're looking to do is make sure that we can cover the operational expenses of producing these events, as well as the other programs and initiatives that we do to invest in downtown and connecting business owners to resources and to the communication pieces that they need to be involved and engaged and active in our community. So yes, it is a fundraiser in a sense in that way, but we're really looking to make sure that we can cover our operational expenses and keep the costs as low as possible for the businesses that are participating in our events. It's an important value of ours to make sure that we're paying artists and entertainers and performers, we're investing in our local arts and entertainment industry in our community here, and that to some degree we're subsidizing the expense to participation for others, to make sure that we have a vibrant and sustainable organization to run, so that it can continue to build as the needs grow, as the community evolves over time.
And I know you've been involved in nonprofits for a long time. Kind of recently, you've been in the two big tentpole Ogden organizations, I feel like, Goal and Downtown Alliance. So I just wonder, do you have any thoughts about, like, what is it that kind of makes community organizations succeed or fail in Ogden?
I wish I had the secret answer to success for everything, but I think a big part of it is really that community support. And when I say that, that's really multifaceted. That's support from volunteers, partner organizations, other nonprofit entities, of course, Ogden City and all of the city services that support these type of events, like fire and police and medical, and parks and recreation departments. It is a mix of everybody that makes things happen. So I would say, a big part of what I see of how events are successful or businesses are successful is involving and engaging the community, taking the extra time to go the extra mile to extend an invitation, or to find a way that is a kind of a synergistic approach to how you can produce something, and really making sure that you're doing it sustainably, so that Ogden has that consistent presence that innovates and evolves as the needs of the community change, but make sure that those core operational functions are well managed and underway, so that those are things that the general public doesn't ever have to worry or stress about. They can just come and show up and be a part of a great experience, and not have to see kind of or feel the pain points, I guess, of logistical hurdles that, when not fully executed, can make a bad experience for people.
Yeah.
So really, I mean, to round it all off, I would say community support and a lot of donated time and volunteer hours and passion and love that goes into any and all events that I've been a part of, I think is what really makes our community tick here in Ogden.
Yeah. And did you say you have an event this weekend?
We do, yeah. So a lot of folks think that the farmers market ends with Harvest Moon celebration in September, but we actually have a fall version of the market that continues on through October 18th. So we have two more fall markets. They're still held on historic 25th Street. We're just on the 300 block, which is next to the amphitheater. And so this Saturday we'll be there from 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. And next Saturday will be our final market of the year. And that will wrap up our 22-week season that we run straight. And we'll get back into the fall farmers market, which is held at Union Station in mid-January, starting off 2026.
Well, awesome. All right. Thank you, Reid, very much for coming and joining us today.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you, John. I appreciate the invitation today to join the podcast and be a part of the conversation.
Yeah. All right. Thanks. That was Reide Thompson, Executive Director of the Ogden Downtown Alliance. Be sure to check out the fall market this weekend. All right. There we go. Two big guests out of the way. We did it. It was live. You guys have no idea how hard it is to stream a live interview. So credit to Colby. Good job, Colby. Nice job, buddy.
My man.
Okay. Up next. So Utah redistricting has been all over the news lately. There was a district court ruling that even President Trump had to take on. And the governor recently reconvened the state legislature to try to resolve the issue. So now, One Ogden, we're going to take just a minute to dig under the surface of this story. This is the bullet points. So, in 2018, there was a ballot initiative for an independent commission to draw election maps. The question was posed directly to the people, and the result was 50.34% for to 49.66% against. So, the ballot initiative passed, and Utah was on its way to having an independent commission draw our election maps. So in 2020, the Utah Senate enacted Senate Bill 200 that said that the independent commission was really just advisory and they could ignore it when they were drawing their election maps. Was this seen as an affront to all of the people who supported that ballot initiative, or even just to the people who didn't support that initiative but believe in the ballot initiative process as like an important part of democracy? Well, maybe, but you can bet that all those state senators got reelected if they ran, so maybe not, right? So anyway, later they redraw some maps, they hold an election, they win all the seats, blah, blah, blah. Then a lawsuit is filed, I think in 2022, by the League of Women Voters and by Mormon Women for Ethical Government, and it spends years going through the courts. And then, this is an important piece I think maybe gets glossed over sometimes. Before the 3rd District Court could rule on this, like they did back in August, the Utah Supreme Court had to weigh in. So this is back in 2024, and they're pretty clear with their opinion. Give me the next one, Colby. It says, when Utahns exercise their right to reform government through a citizen initiative, their exercise of these rights is protected from government infringement. That means government reform initiatives are constitutionally protected from unfettered legislative amendment, repeal, or replacement. When Utahns exercise their right to reform the government through an initiative, the limits of the legislature's authority to amend, this limits the legislature's authority to amend or repeal the initiative. So basically, as clear as you can get from the highest court in the state, that when the citizens pass a ballot initiative, the legislature cannot amend it. So after the Supreme Court decision, they pass it off to the 3rd District Court. It goes to this judge, Diana Gibson. Judge Diana Gibson she makes a ruling in August, and she finds that it was illegal for the legislature to unconstitutionally repeal Prop 4 and enact Senate Bill 200 in its place. And now this week was the deadline that judge set for both sides to submit their new maps. And the judge could be telling us her decision about the maps as soon as tomorrow. And so we can show you, I think we've got what they submitted. Here we go. So what happened? She had both sides submit their proposed maps, right? So the plaintiffs, League of Women Voters, Mormon Women for Ethical Government in this case, they submitted these two maps. You can see that in one of them, they sort of tried to isolate a good chunk of the Salt Lake area there in District 1, where in the other proposed map, Salt Lake kind of gets split up into chunks. Maybe two different philosophies about what district should look like. Maybe not a firm right answer. Anyway, then the legislature, like I said, they got together this week for a special session. I think Monday is when they passed this. This is the map that they proposed. It looks maybe at first glance not a lot different than one of them that was proposed by the plaintiff, you know, the one that was splitting up Salt Lake a little bit. But you can see that district, the green district here, they divide up Salt Lake County a little bit differently, and I think there may be important distinctions. So I would encourage everybody, go in, check out the two maps. Actually, there's three of them, but check out the proposed maps, see what you think about those election maps. This judge is supposed to review these maps, and we could hear as soon as tomorrow what the decision is. So that's the bullet points on redistricting. And now you can go out this weekend and, act like you're the kind of person who pays attention to the 3rd District Court rulings. Impress your friends. All right. I think that's it. I think we're ready to, our final guest tonight, the owner of Lost Texan BBQ. They're out there in Pleasant View. We had a great conversation. I went out there, ate some delicious food. I think one thing, I don't know if it gets mentioned here. They make this, I think they call it a Texas Twinkie. It's like a jalapeno popper with brisket inside and bacon wrapped around it. It's insane. These people are insane. It's a great restaurant. I want you to hear the story of this woman and everything she's doing. So that's it. I'll go ahead and introduce Lost Texas BBQ.
Because I totally feel like now it's becoming a melting pot. I mean, I've only known Ogdens to come to Pleasant View. There's a whole other type of, clientele on this side. You can probably imagine the challenges I have because of, did you ever meet the previous owners?
No. How long have you been the owner?
5 months. That was the owner, original. The all-American looking Texas style man. And then here comes this 5 foot, Hispanic lady. And so everyone's like, what?
Is the founder still here?
So that was him.
Okay.
And he's out in Texas, but I kept his grandson, which is the one that was right next to him.
Oh.
So his grandson is now my head chef.
This industry specifically, I've gone to barbecue places in Austin and stuff.
Male dominant.
It seems like very personality driven too.
Yeah.
It's like, this is the barbecue guy. They've got their flavor.
I mean, just think about it. Like when you think of a grill, right? You don't think of a girl behind a grill. You think of a man, right? When I get talked to, it's always like, oh, well, where's your husband? Do you have a pick eye somewhere around? And it's like, well, what makes you think I can't cook? You know what I mean? Yeah. So yes, this is a male dominant world. However, I'm here to play. It is military based. The whole family, that's one of the sons that passed away from leukemia. But he also served. Anthony, which would so the new head cook, his parents are up there. So yeah, giving back to the community is important. So when the fires happened, I was not at all interested in, having a spotlight or anything. I just said, let's open up the restaurant. I mean, that's what we're here for, right? To help first responders and all that stuff. And then all of a sudden people just started pouring in with like, hey, we want to help and pitch in. And
So go back to, what were the circumstances around you coming into it then? Like,
about a year or two before, I had already thought about purchasing another restaurant, which was more female based, right? It was a breakfast spot.
oh, okay.
And so I was really interested. I thought it was something I was going to do, but it just didn't feel right. So I decided not to. Something was like, hey, this just isn't it. And then we got a call. And it was like, hey, there is a family-owned barbecue place out in Pleasantview. You know, I think they're looking into retirement now. And I don't know, something was just like, I don't know, I think you might have found it. And so, but the thing is that I didn't really come in as the main person in that conversation. I was kind of more like, maybe I was going to be the office person or something, you know? That fell through. That conversation fell through. He said, I would like to do business with the girl, with the woman instead. And I knew it, but I had a feeling. I knew it. I've always believed in intuition and stuff, right? I don't know if it's a feminine thing, but I knew that I was going to get called for some reason, and ended up being my restaurant. To do a true Texan barbecue takes a long time. Like, for instance, our main brisket that we offer, 18 hours smoked. Someone has to watch that. We have to babysit it. You know what I mean? It's not something that we can just magically, do in a couple of hours. The brisket, the Utah brisket, which is more of the fast cook brisket, that's still another 8 to 9 hours. So when we came in, we needed to introduce the Texas brisket, a true one, which was peppered and everything. The one that was here is on the sweeter side, which the Worcestershire sauce is pretty much the component. Nothing to do with Texas. So that's what's the Utah brisket. And people love it. But we had to mess up tons of brisket to make the right one. I'm not in competition to offer the same exact thing as someone else. I want to make my thing, be a little bit different, but make it the best that I can possibly have. So my menu isn't extensive, as you saw. It's pretty, it's lean to certain meats and certain styles of meat. And then once in a while, we'll be introducing new things like our pork belly. That's something different that Ogden hadn't really tried. And you do get a lot of people like, this isn't it. But then you have all the, because the melting pot in Ogden, right? That has happened. People migrated from all places. They know pork belly.
Yeah.
And so then that's starting to spread. And it's like, oh, well, Lost Texan has pork belly on Thursdays. You guys have to come and try it. And so I've noticed that my best marketing has actually been spread of word of mouth.
Yeah.
Everything that James and Marty used to do before is still here because we have a lot of locals that love it just the way it was.
Yeah.
So I am not here to change their legacy. I'm just here to add to it.
Are the desserts new? You have some cool desserts.
We do. So we have Bass cheesecake, which is not traditional, right, in Texas whatsoever. Anthony brought in a banana cheesecake pudding. It's so good, it makes you want to slap your mama. The other thing that's really out of the box is our Blue Heat barbecue sauce. I was like, I need something from home, And I was like, we got to try a new barbecue sauce. We tried apple, we tried apricot, we tried blackberries, raspberries, and then we hit blueberries. And the moment he did the blueberries, it was it.
Yeah.
It was everything. We have a lot of people that ask for it, so much so that I offer now a new wet rib that is made with the Blue Heat barbecue
it's hot
sauce.
Blueberry barbecue sauce.
It is.
This front runner station is always a pet peeve of mine. It's got to bug you as a business owner.
It honestly, so I wish it was like functioning. I wish that stopped.
Right, it's there, it's ready. Like a train could be.
We actually get we get comments online all the time of like, oh, the front runner's there, and it's like it doesn't work. There's no stop. Yeah, so it does bug me. And then the worst part of it is when you get the trains, the supply trains, or what are they called?
Oh yeah, just freight trains.
Yes, and then they I mean, it's a good thing. I always joke around and I always tell the employees, hey, when one of those freight trains stop, you guys are gonna have to go over there with the sign, because they're probably stuck there for like a good 10 to 30 minutes.
That's a good point.
Yeah. And we're just gonna start handing out
samples.
For real. I'm like samples and coupons, doing it the old school way. I was just, yeah. I was like, well, maybe wash a window or two, make it more productive. But yeah.
Well, is there a good, how do you tell people where it's at? Do you just say by the defunct front runner station in
So we have two 2, what is it, like points of interest, right? We say right by the Pepsi factory, right? And then there's an Ogden clinic in the corner.
Oh yeah, okay.
Yeah, other than that, if we're talking about like the freeway, then yeah, we'll say, you know, the 2700, like if you're heading to like Smith's Marketplace or Lee's, they're like, oh, you'll run right into it on the left. But we've actually been pretty surprised at how many people didn't know we were even here. I believe James and Marty never really did too much marketing. It was kind of just word of mouth. And one of the things that people are really coming for is our bison. We're one of the few places that offer bison. Wow. Yeah, we partnered up with a local supplier, and again, clean ingredients, no MSG, any of that. Today, I launched out my new Texas Twinkies, not to be confused with the jalapeno popper, but it's very similar. So it's a stuffed jalapeno with cream cheese, and we do put brisket in it. There is a specific recipe that we use, right, to bring out all the flavors in it, and then we wrap it in bacon and then put honey glaze on top of it. It is spicy, but it is delicious. I just think food is honestly everyone's love language. I have yet someone to tell me they do not like food. You know what I mean? So I think that food can bring a community together. I think it can bring cultures together. So that's what I'm trying to do, is trying to feed people and not worry so much about, like, you know, my background, what kind of Hispanic I am, you know, what else. I just let me feed you. Let my food do the talking. Because I totally feel like now it's becoming a melting pot. I mean, I've only known Ogdens to come to Pleasant View. There's a whole other type of, you know, clientele on this side. You can probably imagine the challenges I have because of. Did
you can stop the video, Colby.
No. How long have you been?
It's restarting. You can
5
stop
months. That was the original. The all-American looking Texas South.
There we go. There we go. All right, we got it. We're good now. I gotta say thank you again to them for having us out there. Like I said, she fed me some amazing food, and it was a great time. And we did it. That is the show. That's One Ogden Live. Before we go, I do want to say just one quick thing about what we're doing here. Ogden is full of incredible stories, very great people, and we're growing fast. I think as we grow, there is more and more opportunity for Ogden's identity to be defined by big money, by businesses, by developers at the Union Station or the Wonder Block or whatever, right? And I am excited for that growth, but I don't want that to be Ogden's identity. I want our identity to be defined by the people that live here and the stories that we live. So that has always been the goal of One Ogden. It's the reason why we did so many interviews with so many Ogdenites, and now we just want to take it a step further with One Ogden Live. We want to give Ogden a place to come together and every week, and we want Ogden to be better about talking to Ogden. So we're going to be here every week, or at least most weeks, having conversations, talking about what's going on, and we hope that you'll join us. It is not easy to do this live, but we think that this is exactly what Ogden needs. And so we're going to go down this journey. We're going to get better every week, and we want to thank you again for being here. Don't forget, get high with Marcus and Guy, either here on the YouTube video or on our Instagram posts about this episode, and you can win 2 free tickets. We'll be picking a winner tonight at midnight, so make sure you comment before then. And that's it. That's One Ogden Live. Thank you, everybody.